Welcome to this week's episode of History with Holly. This week, I was talking to a counsellor and they mentioned something about intimacy, and I thought that would be the topic of my talk. So today we're thinking about intimacy in relationships. This counsellor I was speaking to was mentioning how intimacy in a couple's relationship obviously is challenged when the birth of a new baby arrives. And as a woman focuses more and more on her child or children, the desire for intimacy can often be filled or fulfilled by her relationships with the children, especially the desire for touch and physical affection. And I certainly have found that in my life, whereas more before I had children, my desire for touch was more met by my husband. Now, I spend so much time touching and being physically intimate with my children. They're 2 and 5, so they are very much wanting a lot of touch and a lot of cuddles and kisses and that sort of thing. It is different, the needs for intimacy. And I'm reading Sarum by Edward Rutherford, and it's a classic book. It's sort of the history of England from Neanderthal, like prehistoric man, through till I think the middle of the Middle Ages, and the sequel is called London. And I know a couple of people who watch these have read that or are reading that at the moment. And it talks about a few times, some of the characters talk about, because mostly it's from the perspective of men, as is most history. It's a male writer. It's often what happens. But it talks about women. A couple of the characters, the women have children and the men notice that her desire for them, particularly the character of Porteous, who's during the Roman era, he marries a local Celtic woman, and at first their relationship is incredibly passionate, and then as the children come, he notices that her lust for him is no longer as powerful, and she notices how much less she's wanting that from him because she's so just enveloped in her children and her intimacy with them. And I thought it's a really fascinating thing and a challenge that all couples who have children go through. So I looked up online to see if I could find some interesting articles. I asked a couple of friends who work in sort of the counselling psychology area if they knew of any literature, so I could put some links down below, but I couldn't find anything decent, and I couldn't find anything specifically related to that topic. So that'll be something that if interests you, go and have a look for. I'd love to see your comments below. I'd love to hear your feedback, and if you do find any articles about it or anything scholarly that's worth reading, please post the links in the comments below. Lovely to see you again. Thanks again for listening. If you like this content, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.